We all have differences. We all have bad days. We all have arguments. We all have had disagreements. It happens. So my biggest advice I can give you guys in particular,
Men.
is men, yes, or the male figure partner, right? Is, you know what? If you have these arguments and disagreements or whatever the case is, and you know it's going to start some fight or it get really bad, just zip it. Just zip it and deal with it, because the words and actions that you can say during a heated moment can
Oof.
be a lot worse, and then you're going to regret it. So just zip it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from your favorite brother sister duo, sharing relatable life experiences, some tips and tricks, and a whole lot of stories.
Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon, good evening, good middle of the night, whatever you decide to listen. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, it's kind of dreary and raining here for like the 10th day straight, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, 12th day straight.
Jeez.
Yeah. But this round has actually been worse, so it's all good though. It's all good.
No storm damages though, so that's good.
No, it's just been like slow, steady rain. You get a couple of good heavy showers, but yeah, no crazy winds like that. So we're
That's
doing
at
good.
least, yeah, bonus
Yes,
of
we're
that.
doing
We
good.
have finally heated up here. We have been
I seen that.
warmer, so summer is finally here too. No more
Until next week when it snows.
chilly. Shush. It will be June by then, so I think so. It definitely should not
Hey,
be.
there's always time for a record breaker, right?
Oscar? No. No. No thanks.
Yeah. Be time to get the canoes out and go canoeing, huh?
Yeah.
Actually, we're looking into doing that. Go canoeing and kayaking.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, so with my buddy David and his wife or his lady, so it'll be a good time. And
Yeah,
this
that
river's
would be fun.
cold though.
I would say most rivers are, but
Well,
yeah,
this one is particular.
I would imagine it would be pretty chilly. So don't fall in. Wear your
Mm-mm.
life jacket.
No, because the water's like 50 something degrees.
Ooh, it's like the polar plunge.
Yeah, it's cold. It's so cold that like my beer and stuff, I put it in a fishnet bag
Oh
and
yeah,
hang it.
and bring it along. A lot of
Yeah,
people do that. They do that
yeah, because
on the Fox River. All along down the Fox River, people do that too. They go tubing though, instead of
right. Yeah, they
kayaking.
got that.
And
Yep.
yeah, they that's what they said, that they bring some kind of bag or whatever, and it
Hmm.
just floats along and it stays cold.
Yep. I bring the
So
cooler for our food and stuff, and then just put the beer and stuff in and waters in that fish net and just drag it. And they actually got water troughs, big, huge. They're like 10, 12-foot round water troughs,
mhm,
and they're like a tank, right?
yeah.
And you could put your chairs inside there
Oh,
and just float
really?
that. Yeah, it's wild.
That's
So it's pretty.
fancy.
Yeah. So today we're gonna get into the wonderful topic of being a bonus parent.
Yeah, something very different than what we've been talking about, but something
Yeah.
that a lot of people experience, especially the divorce rate, unfortunately, is pretty high. So
Hmm.
when people start dating again, they end up blending families. So
Hmm. Yeah,
bonus parents.
it's kind of unfortunate that there's a lot of divorce rate. The way I look at it is this: like, if me and my wife get in a big fight or argument, whatever case is, I've
Hmm.
come to I come to a realization. And this is what this is crazy. I uh
Oh, God.
I tell her, and I'm like, hey, if you want a divorce, you know what? Go grab you a beer, go grab you a shot, go to bed, and we'll deal with this tomorrow. Tomorrow's a different day. Just get over it, You're stuck with me. So
That's not very nice.
or vice versa, So I'm like, I'll get ill about something, blah blah. And I'm like, you know what? I ain't gonna even go. I'm not even go there. It'll just if I keep my mouth shut, it goes, it's like, okay, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, getting into our topic, I honestly do believe in my heart that this is my second marriage, y'all. Just so y'all know, I got married back in 2009, my second time. My first time I got married in 2000 and got divorced in 2000. So, um, it's pretty simple on that one. But I
Yeah.
really and honestly believe that if you get married, you get married for life. Okay. We all have differences, we all have bad days, we all have arguments, we all have had disagreements. It happens. So my biggest advice I can give you guys in particular,
Men.
is men, yes, or the male figure partner, right? Um, is, you know what? If you have these arguments and disagreements or whatever the case is, and it's going to start some fight or it get really bad, just zip it. Just zip it and deal with it, because the words and actions that you can say during a heated moment can
Oof.
be a lot worse, and then you're going to regret it. So just zip it. Go get in your car, go for a ride, go to the park, get on your bicycle, whatever the case is, go work out, however you deal with things is you, right? But just,
Right.
yeah, go do that and just walk away from it, and you can come back and deal with it in a cool manner. So I'm just going to give that little bonus.
Good little tip
Yeah.
on
So,
things escalating.
I got married in 2009, like I said. I met my current wife in 2004. And she had a little boy. He was 5 years old when we met,
Wow.
and he is, um, uh, or it was a quite a different child than what I grew up with. Just the manners, the
The
kindness, the
lifestyle.
lifestyles and all that stuff was totally different than what we grew up with in our heritage, being Hispanic family, right? Um,
Mhm.
so I had to get used to that. And
Right.
when I got divorced the first time after I met my wife, I've dated a few different other women and they had children. This was something totally new because my ex-wife and we were straight from high school. We didn't have any kids. So I
Right.
never dated anybody with kids. So it was like totally different. And I'm like, man, I don't know about this. And
Yeah, it's
one of the girls I dated, she had three girls.
oh boy.
And I'm like, ooh boy, this is crazy. But,
Yeah.
you know, Monday through Friday, I pretty much traveled. I was gone.
Oh, back in
So I
those
wasn't
days,
really
right?
home. Yeah. So I wasn't really home, and then on Fridays, the girls would go to their daddies.
Mm.
So I didn't really have a whole lot of interaction with them, except in
Right.
the weekends that they didn't want to go or they couldn't go, whatever the case was. And we kept them.
Mhm.
And no matter what we did, if the kids weren't around, we'd go do adult things or
Right,
adult
right.
fun stuff, right? If the
Mhm.
kids were around, it's like, well, let's go to the lake. Let's go to the park. Let's go do something fun, right?
Kid related. Yeah.
Right. And back then I didn't have any money. So it was kind of hard to do a lot of things because my budget was so small.
Right.
Um, yeah, I was traveling, making good money, or decent money, but I was dumb. I blew a lot of it when I was gone because it was just like, well, it's just me. I ain't got to worry about nothing.
Right, right.
Um, and it was kind of like, getting away. Anyways, so yeah, that was one of the things that when I first started dating again was dating people with kids. I met another lady had a little boy, just one. Um, he was my buddy. I loved that
I
boy.
remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was cute. He was smart. He was just a boy, a good old little country boy. So
Mhm.
he was my buddy. And then that didn't work out. So I went to started dating again, blah blah. And it was just like the same thing. I only dated one, actually two females, two ladies that were did not have kids. Um, one was, so that was that. I'm not gonna get in that conversation, but
So
that's
most of the women though that you dated after had children, or that you
right.
were finding did have children.
Right. So then I met my wife, right? And then things started getting more serious and this and that. And we bought a house together in 2008. We actually moved in together in 2006, in a house that we were rented. And then things, kind of went up from there. Things, having her son there
I was gonna say,
was
yeah, how did that change the dynamic? Because obviously in the beginning, you, you guys go on dates, adult dates or whatever,
right,
but then, yes, when the kid is thrown into it, then, it changes. So you have to kind of find the happy medium in between, your relationship and having the kid part.
right.
So before you decided to move in together, was there how did you go about, like, telling the kid and telling well, I mean, not the kid, I know the kid, but he's not a
Right.
kid, but, how did you go about, like, having those kind of conversations? Was there resentment? Was there how did that go?
Well, to be honest, when we first started dating, him and I were not ever together, you know?
Mm,
She kinda kept me away from him.
kind of
J
distance this
y Right. I mean, I spent, like, maybe 30 minutes, an hour,
mm,
and then we would leave, and he would be there with his sitter or grandmas,
mhm,
Um, so it wasn't a whole lot of time, and we probably dated, a few months, quite a bit of time, and the more I started to spend time, I'm like, "Man, I don't know if I want this.
right,
I don't know if I want this." And it was really weird because I never wanted kids, never wanted to be around, to have my own child. And then,
I was enough for you.
huh? Yeah, you were
Raising
enough. Yeah.
helping raising me was enough?
Yeah, I just didn't want, I was selfish. I really was. I wanted,
You want to
for
just
me.
be able to do your own thing and leave
Right.
and come as you go. I get
Right.
that.
And then, right before I got married the first time, I started thinking about, I was like, you know what? It'd be pretty cool to have one. It'd be pretty cool to have one. Right. So come to find out, while I was dating, I actually went for a study with one of the girls I went. She worked at Vanderbilt, um, and they were doing a study. Found out that I couldn't have kids. So
Mhm.
at that time, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of a game changer. Kind of changes my perspective, right?"
Right,
And then I met my current wife. She had her boy, and I was like, "That's gonna be kind of cool." And then, I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if I want this. I don't know if I want to go into a family already." Right.
right. Especially
So
the age too,
right. So it was different, and I mean, all of us kids are knuckleheads, especially boys. We're knuckleheads, at a young
Mhm.
age, and we do stuff that sometimes will be scare their own parent. Like, man, why did I have him?
It's quite yeah,
So
lots of questions. Get it. I get it,
right.
yeah.
So to answer Lisa's question, I started moving into more the parenting role while we were dating.
Mhm.
Trying to spend time, get to know him. Because at the
Right,
same time, I was getting to know him when I was getting to know her,
right.
right? So I was getting to know two people with two different personalities.
Mhm.
So it was kind of like like we said, it being a bonus parent. Where I got a bonus. Not only did I get a wonderful woman out of it, but I got a wonderful kid out of it.
Right.
And now, we're in 2026. This is a long time ago, right? This is
Mhm.
22 years ago when we met.
Right,
And um I I claim him as my child.
right.
He's my boy. I helped raise him.
Mhm.
His daddy didn't come around except when he felt like it, blah blah. So I took that daddy role with him. I showed
Right.
him how to change a tire, how to go fishing, how to cut the grass, how to change the oil, and I'm still doing that. I mean, he's
So
still a young man.
do you think that added an extra pressure on you,
Oh, most
in the
definitely.
relationship because, the father figure was not or the father was not present. So do you feel like that made it harder on your relationship and just in general to become, the bonus parent?
It
Because
did.
say if his dad was present, then, your relationship to this day might be a little bit more different with him or just in general.
I it was definitely more pressure for the simple fact that, um, I didn't want him to and the way I'm gonna say it's gonna sound ugly, okay? But I don't mean it to be ugly. I didn't want
Mhm.
him to go out into the real world being another status number of a divorced family, okay? I didn't want
Understandable,
him to
yeah.
be, a failure to society. I
Right.
wanted him to be something. And the
Mhm.
more time that I spent with him, the closer and more attachment I got to him, the more I started to feel like he was more my son. So I had to raise him to my standards to
Right.
to to um to be something, to be better than me. So that was hard. The other thing that's hard is when it's not all gold flakes in this
Yeah.
rainbow, okay? It's not.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Um, and there was times when he started acting up or doing something. I remember one time the way he talked to his mom,
Mhm.
man, and we weren't married, right? And he's not
Right.
my child. But biologically, he is not my child, right?
Right.
And when he talked to his mom that way, man, I snatched him up, and I drug
Yeah.
him in the room, and I talked to him. I go, "You ever do that again?" You know, type
Right.
deal, right? And we came out of that room, and his mom's like, "Don't you ever do that. That's my child."
Right.
Okay. And this is where it comes out being a bonus parent. You cross that threshold, right?
Right. It's a
Um,
fine line
it's a fine
to
line. And the way I looked at it is like, well, you know what? The money that I put into this household is for you, myself, and I and him.
right.
I'm helping you raise him. I'm being his father figure. If I'm gonna be his father figure, like you asked me to, like you wanted me to be a part of his growing up life, I
Mhm.
need to have these responsibilities as well. It's not just pick the best apples out of the basket.
Right. It becomes a challenge because yes, what is too much discipline, because technically yes, you aren't the actual father, but then what is, you also want to teach them to be respectful, and
Right,
so you're teetering on that fine line because you don't want to go too far, but you also want them to understand, like, you are still, a
right,
parent to them,
right. I didn't spank
not
him.
just a fun person or whatever, but
Right,
they still need to respect their mom, especially.
right,
You were trying to get them to understand that, but being the mom then too, she probably was like, "Whoa, that's my job is more to do
right,
the disciplining, and or to that degree, and you can help, but not to that degree." So I mean,
right.
maybe that, I feel like probably that's, um, I understand that for sure.
And it costs, and I'm not saying it's his fault, but a lot of our arguments that my wife and I had during this time, or even after we got married, was due to him acting up or not being a good child, a behaved child, or,
Not, yeah,
you know,
not making the good choices, right?
right, was part of him, right? As
Mhm.
he got older and more responsible and, being a product of society, right? Or a product
Right.
of us, the easier our life got because we didn't have these arguments. He was his own person. So
Right, because the rules then and the respect was, more understood than versus when you're 5, 6, 7, like you're still learning at that point.
oh yeah,
Um, so I could see why, yeah, there would be more arguments between the two of you because the child is not reciprocating the information that you guys are giving him to teach him to do better.
right,
But as you get older, usually you should, understand, what's right and what's wrong
right.
to
So
so that would make it a
this
little bit easier for you guys to parent and all get along in general, I would
right.
think.
So just to tell you guys, we're gonna have another episode about like the whole discipline thing with children in general.
Parenting in general,
Yeah,
disciplining, yeah.
parenting. Um, so this, I believe that you and I, both of us, because Lisa's also a bonus parent. You know,
Mhm.
it's a learning curve, right? So we all
Oh,
gotta.
definitely.
The more information that we could have and share with another person that's going to go into this role, I think it'll make their life easier. So that's kind of why we want to share our experiences.
Experiences.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
say one thing though. By being a bonus parent, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
It's been really, really awesome.
Oh, for sure.
Um, for the simple fact that I got a child that um I helped and stepped in to do somebody else's job, right?
Right.
For one. The other thing is, it doesn't matter if you're being a bonus parent or not, being a bonus parent but going into a marriage is pretty cool because the family expansion.
The added, like, yeah,
Right,
family members and everything that you get with that, for sure.
right. And then to go in a little bit further, something that I've experienced, I'm
Mhm.
also a bonus child.
You sure are.
You know, Lisa's dad is not my biological dad, but he's been a dad to me. He showed me a lot of different things to do in life, and he's actually sat down with me and talked to me about my my issues that I've had, whether if I was acting up, whatever the case was as a child. He never ever spanked me or nothing like that, but he
Right.
he, he stood on his ground and talked to me like, "Hey, we're not going to be doing this."
Exactly, yeah.
Um So I'm also a product of the divorce world.
Right.
You know, I'm in my son's spot too. So I've
Mhm.
seen I'm seeing both sides now.
Right. So
So
that probably helped you a little bit because you already knew, kind of what to experience, like, the experiences that you learned, um, and being there, traveling and stuff, being more at mom's, mom and
right,
dad's full time, and learned more, how you would want to be treated, or how you should,
right,
go about certain situations, since you were in those, and maybe certain times you felt, oh, well, I didn't like how this was done, so now that I'm in this situation, I'm going to do it this or differently, or
right.
whatever that was the case.
And
um
the other thing is I learned I I picked and choose how I want to grow up. I didn't like there were certain things on my biological side's family how they did things, right?
right.
Or um like let's just say how do you peel orange on this side, but I liked it better on mom and dad's side, you
Hmm.
know so I got to pick and choose the things that I liked and how I should be treated or how I should treat people or how I should go through life, so
Yeah.
it's definitely awesome. The other cool thing is now I have two sets of parents, right?
Yeah.
So I got double Christmas presents. I got double birthday presents. Uh,
Right, yeah.
s
Yeah,
the
some
f
benefits there for
yeah,
sure.
the cultures on 2 different sides,
Hmm.
was and you're gonna have that in most families because certain families kind of veer off and they learn different ways here and there, right? But the
Right.
different cultures and the different, just surroundings, family, how we all get together, I will say that on our side,
Hmm.
the way we are with our family, our cousins and aunts and uncles, we're all tight, right? We're
Yeah.
really
Oh,
close,
yeah.
and even when we were growing up, we were together, so that was kind of a cool thing. Lisa, is this your was Dave your first man that you dated that had a child?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I was pretty young.
right,
I was, very young when, I was in my early 20s, very early 20s. So really, I had no business having anybody else's children around me at that
Right.
age. Um, because at that time, I was working in a daycare. That was my birth control, like understanding, like, this is what's going to happen. So please don't do that. Yeah, I was working in a daycare at that time. So that was the only children. I mean, obviously, I took care of cousins and all that stuff and babysat, but um, yeah, during that time, no, I definitely did not date anybody that had kids because the ages of men that I dated at that time, they didn't have children or like anywhere close to that yet at that point. So when I learned that, Dave had not just one child, but two.
Double bonus.
But I mean, it wasn't, and it was a thing that I knew right away because it was actually, I met him at a barbecue that my friend, Jen, was I living with her? I think I was living with her. That my roommate friend, Jen, that I was living with, her boyfriend had barbecue. Long story short, he was friends with Dave, and Dave brought, but he only brought one of the kids. Yeah, just one of them. For I don't know. I mean, the other one must have been somewhere. I don't know, but he only brought one, and so we I was hosting. I was pretty much the cook for that barbecue, so I was in the kitchen most of the time getting all the stuff ready, um, even though I wasn't at my house. But anyway, so I was in the kitchen most of the time, so I was going in and out, like, just checking on stuff, so I saw that there was a kid there, but I didn't know whose it was. It was all mostly otherwise, it was all of us that were, in our 20s, 30s, 40,
Right.
just a big age range and just having fun in the summer, barbecue, having drinks, food, whatever. But then I met him, and it was very brief that we just said hello, whatever. Um, and then he was walking around with the kid, so that I kind of figured that must have been his kid. And then my friend had said, "Oh yeah, he has a kid." And I was just like, "Okay, whatever." And we just that was the end of that. And I didn't, I was freshly single, so I was just like, I'm just not trying to get involved in anybody, so I didn't even know. But long story short, we ended up getting together. We dated more, or we got to know each other more the before I really met the kids, like hung out with the kids. Um, but eventually, then yeah, I would just tag along for, like, we go to the zoo, we go here, we go there, like pretty much any fun kind of places, just to kind of see the vibes and see if it would mesh out. And at first I was like, "Oh, this is fun," and little kids, "Oh, what do you want to play, or what do you want to do this?" Because, like, I was working at a daycare, so it was
Right.
kind of like it already,
Being at
like,
work
was
all over, huh?
it was, yeah, it was kind of just like natural because it was what I did. So I mean, it was fine. Eventually, yeah, we ended up spending more time together. Then yeah, we moved in together too at that eventually. But that part was, and by that point, we all had hung around each other for a lot. We went on vacation. We went to Wisconsin Dells. We had been involved for quite some time before we moved in. So when we moved in, it wasn't as, like, shocking, I guess. Like, it's not like that was the first time that they met me, or, it wasn't like that. So I feel like we all blended pretty seamlessly when we lived together, because then also their mother is still present in their lives. So we didn't have them, all the time, like you were saying. We had them every other weekend and certain days of the
Right.
week. So we still could have our relationship and do our adult fun stuff or whatever, and then do things with the kids at the same time. But I mean, it definitely had its challenges because, like I said, I was young, and I enjoyed, just going out with him and us just doing things on our own. And especially on the weekends, because then I worked at different jobs. So I worked some weekends, and some weekends that I was off, I was like, oh, well, I want to go do, X, Y, and Z. I want to go hang out. I want to go shopping. I want to go do this. I want to go grab drinks. I want to go to a comedy show. Like I wanted to do all these things, but reality set in that I was like, okay, well, I can't do that anymore. But it wasn't that I didn't want to do that anymore, but I was just like, okay, well, this is, my new reality and we're going to figure it out and it's going to be fine. So then I would just learn how to play video games. um, I would, make cookies or find activities like to do, get movies. We would go parks, and there was a park close to us at that time, so we would do that a lot. So, I just had to learn that I could still have my me time or our dating time when it was available. It
Right,
wasn't
right.
as frequent, which it was not hard to learn, but it was just an adjustment for sure. But I mean, I was fine with it because then the more time that I spent with the boys, alone too, because they would be working a lot of the time. So then it was all on me, the responsibility because he was at work, and I was like, "Oh man, okay, I got to feed these kids, bathe these kids, or whatever." And I'm
Right,
like, but then it just became more of a love because I just was like, I love this life now, and couldn't think of any other way without it. Like that, they made me happy, they made me laugh, like all
right,
kinds of
right,
stuff that I didn't know that I needed. I mean, I always wanted kids,
right.
whenever I got married or whatever, but I wanted, I wasn't especially that soon, that
It's
young.
like,
It's like an
ba-bing, here we
instant,
are.
yeah, it's a instant, bonus mom and everything. So I was just like, this is different, but it was something that I definitely enjoyed, and I still do enjoy. I mean, but yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world, obviously, but yeah,
It's
it's
definitely
definitely taught me a lot though too.
right.
Taught me a lot about patience, taught me a lot about, compromising. It taught me about, lots of different things, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I definitely took them in as my own, and I still do. And
You get
yeah,
attached, don't you?
oh God, yeah. Because
Yeah.
there was a brief time that, Dave and I took separate ways. We decided to, take a break, whatever. And during that time, I would be at the grocery store or whatever, and I'd be like, "Oh, I should go grab this, or I should go grab that." Like, and it would be like their favorite cereals or snacks that they like, or I'd see a Spider-Man toy or, something, and it's like I'd go to put it in my cart. I'm like, "Oh, I I I can't do that anymore." So like that
Mhm.
really hurt, during that time.
Right.
But things changed and we got back together obviously.
Right.
But yeah, so I definitely grew so attached, especially because they were so young. So, they're so
Right.
innocent and learning and just being silly, and that it was Devin, I think he was like 2. So yeah, I mean, he was really young, and now he just finished his freshman year of high school. So like,
Right. Are you
we've
proud?
proud of what?
Proud of
Just like
proud of the
in
boys, just from
oh
seeing them
yeah.
growing up like that, and then to accomplish, going through, like, graduating high school and stuff, you,
Mhm.
like,
Oh yeah,
makes you
God,
proud, right? Just like a
Dylan,
natural
yeah.
parent.
Yeah, Dylan graduated high school last recently,
Mhm.
and I was a mess. I was yeah, I was crying during the ceremony before they
Yeah.
even said anything. I mean, I am an emotional person as it is, but um yeah, like when he drove the first time he drove his car and
Uh,
drove away for the first time on
I
his
was getting ready
own.
to ask.
Oh my god. I was recording it and I was bawling at the same time. And
Yeah.
Jackson's like, "Are those happy tears?" I'm like, "Yeah, they are." It's happy and sad at the same time because it's just like, oh my gosh, they're able to go out in the world by themselves. Like, we hope we did a good job. And, all of that starts to play in effect, and it's just like the world is scary. So, but we it did make me realize that we did do a good job because at his graduation, just a quick story. I've gone off on all different ways here, but he was his graduation. We had asked him, "Oh, are you going to any graduation parties, or what's your plan?" And he said, "He's like, well, this one guy or whatever is having a party, but the cops are going to be called on, most likely, so I'm not going to that one." So I'm like, "Okay, good. At least you're making good choices and deciding
Right.
not to go to those kind of places and um, be smart about everything." I mean, he has two jobs currently. He's looking at going into electrician union and stuff. So he's doing well, and Devin's doing well. So yeah, but yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I mean, that's you know, how I feel. My son went in through he went to a through a trouble spot, just didn't make good life choices.
hmm
All of us make our choices, right?
right,
And
yeah,
anyways, he went away for a month and came back. And when he came back, he was already working, and he's does heat and air. That's what he
right.
does. And when he started at this place, y'all, he started just to unload the trucks, just the supplies. That's all he did, just unload the trucks and restock the shelf in the warehouse.
hmm
Anyways, he went away for a month. He did this probably for almost a year, I think. And then he went away, came back, and was working, blah, blah, doing servicing. He started doing service and installs. And then he started going and talk to the customers of trouble stuff, being on call. And
right.
then he's been there almost 10 years now. So I think on his fifth or sixth year, he started running the whole operation of installs, service, um, install service, something else. So he's in charge of all the guys.
I was
He's
gonna say, yeah,
yeah,
he leveled up pretty
he
pretty
leveled up
quickly.
pretty quick, right? And he dispatches, he talks to the customers when there's a customer that's not happy with the company on how it turned out. So he goes and deals with them. Um, he just does it all. He's in the office doing the office administration part. He's out in the field doing that. So he's pretty much running the business now. And I told him not too long ago, I'm like, dude, here, I want to talk to you. He is like, what's wrong, Dad? And I'm like, there's nothing wrong. Just because I want to talk to you doesn't mean there's something wrong.
Well,
Uh,
usually that's what if
right.
people think.
And I told him, I'm like, I'm so freaking proud of you for what
hmm
you have accomplished in your
Right.
life, and where you became, and you're able to support yourself beyond, just yourself. You,
hmm
got a good living. You're making good money. Do what you want to do, go where you want to go. It, you're not hurting nobody. You're having a good life. Goes to the
Right.
gym. He's very dedicated in everything he does. And he turned around and told me, he goes, you know what? Because I wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for you. He
Aw.
goes, you're the one that disciplined me into being something and being a good member of the society. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to
That's
be that
yeah, that's
bonus
a
parent
good
to be able to do that,
feeling. Right.
So being a bonus parent is very hard
It's hard, but
because
it's rewarding when you see
yeah,
that, though.
yeah, but it is. It's when you see that, it's very, it is very rewarding. The hardest part out of the whole thing is being a bonus parent is when they turn around, look at you, like, can't tell me what to do. You're not my dad, you know,
Mhm.
or,
I'm not
um,
gonna listen. Why would I listen to you? You're
right.
not my mom, or,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
My
I'm not
mom
gonna
doesn't
do
even
that, or I'm
like
gonna
you,
tell
or,
my dad. Yeah, same things.
and
Yeah. Mhm.
they will try to make you guys fight just so you're not going to be around anymore because they don't like you because you're so hardcore on them, or you're trying to, guide them, or they don't like you, or whatever the case is. They'll try to, they'll do whatever they can to get you away. Um, but the rewards of sticking around is just like Lisa was saying, when you see them accomplish things,
Mhm.
man, you break, and I'm just like Lisa, I'm very emotional.
Mhm.
You break down, you see this, you're like, "Man, God," it's pretty nice, and then when you have another parent or another adult come to you, it's like, "Oh, your child is so well-spoken and so well behaved, blah, blah, blah," you see that, and I'm like, I had it happen to me, I'm like, "Well, it's not my biological son, but he's my son, and
Right,
thank you," because
right.
I feel like I did a good job,
Yeah.
or we did a good job,
Yeah, you
so
both did a good job, but yeah, I've had that too where I've had other family members that have said, "Oh, they're so respectful, blah blah blah," and then my neighbor even has mentioned it multiple times because Dylan works at Home Depot, so and they go shop there often too, and they say, "Oh yeah, he's always so helpful and so kind. We always see him helping other customers and blah blah." I'm like, "Well, good. He should be first of all,"
right,
but that other people also see the work that we've put in to make these kids, good people and caring
right,
people in society. And but yeah, it's definitely rewarding, but it was not always easy, that's for sure. I mean, there's
mhm,
plenty of times where, like you said, that you guys got into arguments because of things that you think that should be your house run one way, or things that should be done but the other parent, the actual parent, believes that it shouldn't be. So yeah, Dave and I definitely have had our disagreements on stuff like that. Um, because I try to instill being respectful and having some type of chores and doing a couple things here and there around the house so that these kids don't grow up being lazy,
right,
so they learn to do these things and what is too much, what is too little, there's especially like I said, there was a lot of their childhood. I was one of the main people that was raising them because of the days that I was off of work. So I had a lot of put on me too to try and
right,
make sure that they were growing up to be, good kids and respectful. And there was times on the weekends that I would put out a little chore list, and it wouldn't be anything crazy, just a couple things. And I would get pushback from them because they're like, they didn't want to do this, it was their weekend. And
right.
and I would write like,
I'm
you
not
can't
eating
do.
asparagus.
Oh no, it's not that serious. It was very very light chores. And then like at that time, because they were young, um, I would put 15-minute read a book for 15 minutes. And I would set a timer. I'm like, you can't, do your electronics until this stuff is done. After this is done, then you could do whatever you want. It was most of the time one of the kids would do it right away. So then they could have their time. And then the other one would push back and be like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want, and so trying to navigate that, um, but also not going too far with saying, "Well, you have to do this,"
Right, right.
and not being rude or not to
Well,
be not fun anymore. So
yeah.
there was
It
a definitely a hard. Uh, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but
well,
it
you're
was
dealing with
hard
2
to
different
learn.
personalities, you know?
Well, that too, two very different kids. They're a couple years age difference, not that many, but yeah, two very different personalities. So it was challenging at times. I mean, it still is challenging, to raise and help them and figure out what are the needs and what are not. And like I said, try to make them learn simple task in the world. I'm like, I want my future, in-laws to be like, oh, my daughter-in-law, son-in-law, whatever they choose,
Right,
you did a really great job with them because I don't have to remind them to pick up their clothes off the floor, or, just simple,
right,
silly stuff like that, that
right.
I just try to instill in them. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a learning curve for sure. It's been a fun, rewarding time, challenging. I mean, it's all been all of them.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't change it for the world. Like I said, it made me learn a lot of the different things. And like you said, you were selfish. I think I was selfish in the beginning too. It definitely made me learn that, there's more to life than just going out to the
Oh,
bars and,
yeah.
doing all that kind of stuff and I enjoyed becoming a family and doing the family things. And I mean, all of my friends were, oh, well, we're going to go out here. We're going to go out here. You're going to come. And I'm like, no, we have the kids. Like, we're hanging out with the kids. And like, oh, I mean, it did make me lose some friends during that time, I would say, which sucked. But, it is what it is. And then we still just had our own little family and did things together. So it was, like I said, I wouldn't change it for the world.
No, I wouldn't either. I just they since they're around you so much, they pick up some of the habits that you have or, some of your traits, right? They start picking some of that stuff up too.
Right.
My son's a very hands-on person. He is so knowledge, he learns everything so easily,
Mhm.
but he chooses to be with his work with his hands, which is whatever, I don't care.
Right,
Just
it's
be a good
whatever they
person, right?
choose, but
You're right. But it's so funny that I'm a big smoker. I do my briskets, my butts and ribs and all that. That's just something that I just enjoy doing,
right.
um, because I love reaping rewards of doing it and having my friends and family over and seeing the enjoyment in their face while they're eating and be like, "Dude, this is so good," blah blah blah, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah, right.
So, uh, not to go into myself, but my son, he bought a smoker, a little pellet smoker. He was telling me, he's like, "I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna buy one." So I'm like, "Whatever, okay, cool, whatever you want to do, dude."
Mhm.
So he was so excited getting one, and he bought a smaller one, like half the size, but he can't fit a whole brisket in it. And he was telling me,
Oh.
he's like, I want to smoke a brisket. I'm like, okay, cool. He goes, "It ain't gonna fit in my smoker," and I'm like, "No, it's not." I go, "Unless you hang it, that'd be the only way." So anyway, I don't know if he has done it yet. I know they just bought one. Bought a brisket rather. I don't know if they did it, but anyways, a couple months ago, he called me. We were talking this and that. He's like, "Hey, Daddy," I'm like, "What's up?" He goes, "I cooked a pork butt, smoked a pork butt." And I'm like, "Oh yeah?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "It was better than yours." I'm like, "Well, good job." He's like, "Well, that's not the reaction I wanted." He goes, "I thought you were gonna give me crap about it." Like, "Oh, there's no way," or blah blah. And I'm like, "No, good
Right.
job." And that's what it's about. I love him so much that I want him, no matter what he does,
Just, be successful, be
be
success, yeah.
successful and be better than I
Mhm.
am. You know,
Right.
I I want him to be way better than I am. So that's kind of really cool of it turned into just not being a bonus parent to being so much more, to be an actual parent is
Right.
what it turned into.
Mhm.
And my biggest
Especially in your
advice,
case because his dad wasn't present, so
right,
you became a lot like, a more full-time,
right,
parent than I have been, but
right. And his dad came by one day and just came by the house, just showed up. He's like, "Hey, I want to take Wade for the weekend."
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Huh, I don't know nothing about this."
Right.
I mean,
Not
this is
gonna
interesting. So
allow
I'm like,
this
"Hey,
to
okay."
happen.
I go, "Well, I go hang on." And he started coming in the house. I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. You can stay outside. You can wait out there." So I went in the bedroom. I'm like, "Hey, Wade, your dad's here. He wants you to go with him for the weekend."
Mhm.
And he's like, "Well, I don't want to. I want to
Yeah.
stay here with you guys." I'm like, "Okay." I go, by you making that decision, whether it be yes, you want to go or not want to go, you need to come over to the front door. You need to let him know. You need to be a man about this."
Mm.
And he's like, "I don't want to." And I'm like, You have to. You have to." So he went over there and told his dad, he goes, "I don't want to go." He goes, "I got plans. I want to be with my friends. I want to be here with mom, with mom. I'm gonna have probably do a sleepover. No, I don't want to go."
Wow.
And his dad was pretty upset that we weren't
I would
forcing him.
imagine. Yeah, I would
They weren't
imagine.
forcing him. I go, "Okay, wait." I go, "That's cool." I go, "You don't want to go, you can stay with us." So Anyways, his dad and I stepped outside and had a little chat. And I
Yikes.
told him, I'm like, don't just show up here expecting he's going to go with you, for one. The other
Right.
thing is you need to catch up on your payments before you
Mm.
start making, decisions like
Visits.
that.
Yeah.
Um, so he figured it out. He understood, and he started calling and making plans. Say, hey, can I have like this weekend, blah, blah, I want to go to my dad's or whatever, I want to take him with me. I want to
Mhm.
take him out of town and this and that. And the first time he took him out of town, I was kind of skeptical.
I would have been nervous.
Yeah, and I'm like, I told Kim, I'm like, man, I just don't feel good about this. She's like, why? And I'm like, what if he wants to take him and never bring him back?
Right.
Right.
That's
And
where my mind would have went to.
right now, she's like, you can't think like that. You just got to
Right.
let life go through. And I'm like, oh,
Just
man,
hope for the best.
yeah. So they went to Colorado with his stepmom and his dad and his sister. So I'm like, okay, now that I kind of know what the picture is, and they were going up to visit a family that apparently my wife knew about. So she's like, okay,
Right. So it
and he wants,
wasn't just a trip, just the two of them somewhere
right,
brand new with nobody else. So
right.
there
So
was other people. It
that's when
reassured you.
oh yeah, it definitely reassured. That's when I started knowing. I'm like, huh, I've gotten really attached to this boy.
Oh, yeah.
I've
If you
gotten really
feel like
attached to him. You know,
a papa bear,
yeah.
like wanting to make sure nothing's gonna happen and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If they had
totally.
air tags back then, I would have stuck one in
You
them.
would have got one?
Yeah,
Definitely.
I would have stuck one in them. So, yeah, just I guess the best tip that I can give you guys, men and women, um, is going into the role model of being a bonus parent is take the time not just to know the person you're dating, but take the time to get to know that child, because if
Mhm.
that mix doesn't work with you and that child, so
Then
whatever
the
issues
relationship.
that child has, it's gonna wreck your relationship.
Yep.
So it's just as vitally important to spend time with that child
Mhm.
than it
Get
is
to
just to
know
spend.
them, get to know their
Yeah,
likes, their dislikes, favorite foods, all of those things. There was times where, I really didn't wanna play Minecraft video games or, that's not my thing, like, I'm
right,
not a
right.
big video gamer,
Yes, same
but
here.
I, I learned that, if that's how some of the time I was gonna spend time with him and we could chat, we could talk while we were playing. It was like a building game, I don't remember.
Right,
But like we could spend time together in some ways, me finding, okay, he really enjoys doing this. So if I spend some time doing this, then we can, go to the park or we could do other things too. But just to sit there and kind of pick his brain and see what his likes are, dislikes, and, you know, it's important to them that you,
want
do
to be a part
things
of their
that they
life.
enjoy. Yeah, and if
Yeah,
you really wanna be part of their life, you kinda have to do not exactly sacrifice, but
yeah,
also, you know, like I said, I don't enjoy playing video games, especially like those kind. Those are boring to me, but
yeah,
I did it because that's something he enjoyed, and
right,
I, wanted to make him happy, and I wanted to spend time with him. We didn't do that all the time. We did other things too, but if that was what was going to make him happy, I did it. And I mean, would I take back those times now? No. I mean, it was, if you asked me to play the game now, I still would need a refresher. I have no idea.
right, right.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
if
not my thing
that's
either. You know,
and you do things that you are not necessarily, enjoy or like comfortable with, I guess, playing that kind of stuff. We'd go to trampoline parks, and you bet I was jumping on those trampolines and going into the ball pits, going into all these climbing in these tubes and small spaces and all that stuff because that's something that they wanted to do and they enjoyed it and they will remember, "Oh, yeah, well, Lisa went in the jungle gym thing with me. She didn't just sit, on the couches with all the other parents, like, she was
hmm,
inside with me, going down the slides, doing this kinda stuff," and that's what's gonna create the memories that they are going to remember that I spent time with them doing.
Right. No, I
So,
totally
yeah,
totally
I feel
agree.
like any people that are experiencing this or going to experience, these kind of things, you just kind of have to do what is in the kid's interest, and or if they're love a certain sport, learn about that sport and do it with them. Whatever it is that they're involved in, be that person to help
Mhm.
them be involved. And hey, you might find a new hobby or a new thing that you enjoy doing too. So,
Yep.
but it's very
Exactly.
important to make them feel seen and heard and not just, ignored or anything like that. Because I know I would want to feel seen and heard for sure, not just, somebody that my mom or dad is dating. Like
Right.
that
Yeah,
wouldn't be fun for me.
I know my son was a big, huge gamer, like really deep involved where they were working with developers. Him and his
Hmm.
cousin, they were like really, really into it, right? This is
Right.
like hardcore. When you start meeting up with developers of gamings, then you're pretty involved. And
Hmm.
and this was when he started getting older in his late teens when this started happening. When he was younger, I'm like, get off that game and get your butt outside. Go do something outside. And that's not the outside life like playing ball or baseball, basketball, or riding a bike. That wasn't his thing. His thing was his
Right.
video games. And I used to
Right.
get so upset at him. I'm like, get your butt outside. Well,
Right.
then I started seeing it. I'm like, that's what he enjoys. That's what he likes,
Yeah.
right? I was
Yeah,
never
no,
the one to sit
right.
there with him and play. Is I that's just not
You
me.
couldn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. But my fingers, even texting with two fingers is hard for me. So that's just not me. But I was now, and I'd come in and I'm smoking or whatever, doing something outside. I'd come in, grab me a beer or make me a drink, and I'd see him playing his game.
Hmm.
And I'd see it. And I'd just sit there and watch it. I'm like, man, it's just like a movie.
No,
I'm like,
especially now. Yeah, they are.
yeah. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool, son. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm testing this game out for this, company, blah, blah. I'm like,
Company.
oh, really? Yeah. And he's like, yeah. He goes, I got like a beta version, whatever it was. So, um, I do want to say this, uh, son, John Wade, thank you for everything that you've become, everything who you are. And I love you. And a bunch of hugs and kisses. I couldn't ask for a better son ever.
Aw, how sweet.
So yeah, it's it's a hard road. It's a
It
hard
is a hard
road.
road, and
It's fun though.
it's definitely fun. Yeah, fun, challenging. I feel like it's a roller coaster of emotions and thoughts and feelings for sure. Um, you might not always be liked by either the kids
Yeah.
or the other parent. I definitely was not liked by the other parent in the very beginning, and I understood. I
Right.
understood. I didn't take it personal. I would try to put myself in her shoes. Like, I wouldn't want somebody else trying to come in and
Right.
raise my kid either. So I never took it personal. Um, but
But y'all are friends now, right?
it grew. It grew.
Yeah.
Yeah, we invite her over for, when we celebrate the kids' birthdays. Um, we've gone to dinner with her, and all of us have gone to dinner. She's come over here, multiple times.
That's nice.
She
That's
cuts
beautiful.
she cuts my hair, she cuts Jackson's hair, um, we all have been, Jackson and we've brought her flowers one of the times when we got our haircuts. Like, I mean, wouldn't say like we're besties or anything like
Right.
that, but we have a respectful relationship. We are, you know, kind to each other, and um, she's seen over the years, she has sent me, I wouldn't ask for a better bonus mom for my boys. Like, thank you for, helping, blah, blah, blah. So, like,
That's
it
nice.
makes me feel good that she acknowledges that. And so, yeah, but yeah, in the very beginning, because it definitely was not like that. And, and
She's
it's
like,
not
that's
good.
This mug
Right.
over here.
And yeah, you have to kind of
Who are you
accept
stepping
that.
in and grow with my kids, you know?
Right. You have to accept that in the beginning of those kind of relationships because you don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
You don't know
You don't.
what triggers they might have or what feelings they might still
Yeah.
have or,
And
whatever
there's
it
some whack
is.
jobs
So
out there.
yeah. So yeah, I was just thankful that, eventually that we were able to be, kind together and be nice and friendly and, have talks about all different kinds of things and, just go chat. There's plenty of times where I've gone by myself to go get a haircut at her salon and we just
Mhm.
go and we just talk about all the random things and,
Right.
so it's and like I said, just to have her see that too makes me feel good. So,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
it's
Would
all a
you
rewarding thing for sure.
would you keep your either one of the 3 children that you are raising, would you tell them to avoid this situation to being a bonus parent, or would you be okay with it? How would you?
Yeah, I mean, whoever you've have a relationship with is whoever you have a relationship. I wouldn't say avoid it. I mean, it's definitely not the most easiest thing, but also, going into a relationship with a person with no kids is not always easy either.
Nope.
So
It sure ain't.
sometimes
It sure
sometimes,
ain't.
having the relationship with
Yeah.
someone with kids might be easier than somebody, that doesn't. So
Well, that's
I wouldn't tell
just
them to avoid it. I
right.
would just, let them know that if you are going to date somebody that has kids already,
It's
that
tough.
you are going to have challenges. You cannot be selfish, give them those kind of things and give them my experience that
Right.
I've had and just but yeah, I wouldn't veer them either way.
Good.
Really, I would just kind of give them like, here's the facts of this, here's the facts of this. You decide what, the
Right.
ball's in your court. You decide what you want to do because if you really like somebody that has those kids, then, you have to figure that out. But yeah, I wouldn't veer them either way. Just whoever
I don't
makes them happy, I
I
feel
don't think
like.
you can I don't think you can choose love, you know?
Right, that's what yeah, whoever
Yeah,
makes
you
them
just
happy. If somebody that
yeah,
has the kids, then, it is what it is. If they don't,
right.
then they don't. But
It's like I told
like I
myself.
said, a person that doesn't have kids could make it a relationship hard
Right.
anyway.
No,
So
for sure. For sure.
it's
So I told my son, I'm like, it doesn't matter, son. You go in a direction that you feel is right. If you love the person, whether they've got, no kids or they got five, or, if it's another man, or if they're a different nationality, it doesn't matter. As long as you are happy and you love them, that's all that matters. I,
right. There might
it's
be
just
challenges that you're not used to or
right,
different things, but you grow to understand those or if you can't accept them, then you just,
right.
you take the high road and you go somewhere else. But
Yeah, I'm not gonna push him, and I'm not gonna push him away because he chose this. If he met some Bangagwa person, some other country or whatever, I'm not gonna tell him, no, we don't want them dark skin or whatever case, and I'm not gonna push him away. I'm not gonna push him away if he met a man or a female that's got, 0 kids or 5 kids. Like I said, I'm not gonna push you away. I'm not
right.
gonna do that. You're already in my heart, and I'm not gonna let you get out of my heart. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just kind of like you, sis. I'm gonna let you make your own road. Wherever you love, whoever you love is who you love. You're already in my heart. I want to keep you there. So
R
good
right.
thing that I've got 3 nephews.
Mhm.
From you. Got a pretty cool husband. He's a hustler out there, playing racing and, golfing, bowling. He's just all over. He's just a good guy, uh,
He's
likes to have a
loves
couple of beers.
competition.
Yeah, he's definitely a competition guy. I'm not a competition guy. I'm like, as long as I'm having fun, I don't care if I win or lose.
Same.
But yeah, to everybody out there, wherever your heart goes, follow that road. If
Mhm.
and like Lisa said, if if they have children or no children, it's still going to be difficult. You're still going to have your differences. It's
Right.
just because you choose someone who doesn't have any kids and you think that's a better option, you probably won't get along with that kid. Maybe you don't know. You may get along better with the one that has 9 kids. You don't know that.
Right.
But whatever your heart desires, that's where you need to go.
Mhm. Yep.
Being a bonus parent is not a bad thing.
No.
I'm telling you, it's not a bad thing.
Absolutely not.
It's a pretty cool fact. I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. I didn't have to go through the crying stages of being a toddler, having to deal with a toddler. So
Well,
I'm like,
true. You
boo.
didn't have to do that stage. You got lucky. He was
Yeah,
already 5. Yeah, you got a good head start, that's for sure.
I was like, man, this is pretty cool. I showed him how to cut grass, and I'm like, I just sit back over here and drink a beer now.
God.
No, it's nice. So everybody out there, that's our best advice and experiences that we've gone through. Take it or
Mhm.
leave it. Hopefully everybody learns something from it. And
Yeah.
just be kind. Be kind. Spread love. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
With all that being
Yeah.
said, God bless. Love y'all. Spread kindness.
Spread kindness, and I'll see you next week, everybody. Have a good one.
Ciao.
Thank you guys for always supporting our show. Please subscribe and review on Apple Podcasts. Follow and rate on Spotify or subscribe on YouTube. 2 Voices, 1 Life Podcast. That's the number 2 Voices, 1 Life Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram and TikTok. That's 2V1 Life Podcast. Also, our Facebook, 2 Voices, 1 Life Podcast. We hope you guys have a great week and catch the new episode next Wednesday. Bye.